All right, let's jump right into one of the biggest, most classic questions in all of tech. Should you get a laptop or a desktop? It can feel like a really overwhelming choice, but I promise, by the end of this, you're going to know exactly which one is the right call for you. And that's the most important word right there, you. See, this whole thing isn't about which machine is better in some abstract way. It's about finding the perfect fit for your work, your life, and yeah, your budget. So, let's get into it. So, first things first, let's get a really clear idea of what we're even talking about. What are the core identities of these two contenders? What makes a desktop and a laptop a laptop? It's actually pretty simple when you boil it all down. A desktop? That's a modular system. You've got the main tower, a separate monitor, a keyboard, a mouse. They're all individual pieces that work together. A laptop, on the other hand, crams all of that into one single integrated package that you can pick up and take with you. I absolutely love this analogy because it just clicks. Think of a desktop as your pro-level home kitchen. You can upgrade the oven, get a bigger fridge, add new countertops. It's totally customizable. A laptop, that's your high-tech food truck. It's got everything you need, all self-contained, ready to go wherever the customers are. And that brings us to the main event, the fundamental trade-off at the heart of this whole decision. It's the raw, untamed power of the desktop going head-to-head with the go-anywhere freedom of the laptop. This chart says it all, really. When you look at pure performance for your money, it's not even close. For the exact same price, that tall bar for the desktop shows you're getting way more horsepower, more raw capability, just more bang for every single buck you spend. So why is that? Well, it's just physics. Desktops can fit bigger, more powerful components. They have room for huge fans and cooling systems, so they don't overheat. They can also pull a ton of power straight from the wall. This means they don't have to do what's called throttling, which is basically when a computer has to slow itself down to keep from getting too hot. And the graphics card, the engine for all your visuals, it's the full-size, real deal, not a scaled-down mobile version. But then you have the laptop's undisputed superpower, portability. And this is the absolute game changer, right? It's the freedom to work from a coffee shop, to take notes in a lecture hall, to finish a project on the couch. That is something a desktop just can't do, period. There's a hidden cost to all that portability, and it's something we don't talk about enough: ergonomics. A proper desktop setup lets you put the monitor right at eye level with a comfortable keyboard and mouse. It saves your neck and your back. Laptops, just by their design, kind of force you to hunch over. And doing that for hours every day, that can cause some real strain over time. Okay, let's talk about money. This is our second round, price versus value. And I'm not just talking about the sticker price today. I'm talking about what your investment is going to look like a few years down the road. To make this super clear, let's just pick a number. Let's say you've got a budget of $1,000. What can you get? Okay, just look at this breakdown. For that same $1,000, the desktop gets you a much more powerful processor. It gets you a dedicated graphics card, a whole separate component just for intense visual tasks, while the laptop just has basic integrated graphics. And look at this, you get double the RAM, which means smoother multitasking, and double the storage space. It's a huge difference in what the machine is actually capable of. And this gets to the heart of long-term value. With a desktop, if it starts to feel slow in a few years, you can just upgrade a single part. Pop in a new graphics card, add more RAM. Easy. With most modern laptops, if you want a meaningful upgrade, you're pretty much stuck buying a whole new machine. And you gotta remember the hidden costs. If you crack your laptop screen, that repair can be seriously expensive. And the battery, it's gonna wear out and need replacing every couple of years. Now, on the flip side, you have to remember that a big, powerful desktop is gonna use more electricity, so that's gonna show up on your utility bill over time. Okay, that's enough of the tech specs and the numbers. Let's make this personal. How do all these differences actually apply to different people? Let's figure out which profile fits you. All right, if you're a student, this is pretty much a no-brainer. You're constantly moving, from your dorm to class to the library to a study group. That need for flexibility makes a laptop your single most important tool. On campus, portability is absolutely king. Now, for all my gamers out there, if you want the absolute best performance, the highest frame rates, the power to crank every setting to ultra, and the option to upgrade your rig next year,
A desktop is the undisputed champion. It's not even a competition.
For creative professionals, things get a little more interesting. You really need that desktop beast in your home studio for the heavy lifting, like rendering huge 8K video files. But you also need a powerful laptop you can take on site for a photo shoot or to a client meeting. Honestly, a lot of pros end up needing both. And what about remote workers? Well, it all depends on your work style. If you love the freedom of changing scenery, working from a cafe one day and a co-working space the next, a laptop is for you. But if you have a dedicated home office and you're at that desk all day, that ergonomic desktop setup is a serious investment in your own long-term comfort and health. So we've looked at the tech, we've looked at the use cases. Now let's wrap this all up in a simple way so you can make your final choice. It really just comes down to asking yourself 4 simple questions. First, where are you going to use it? One spot or all over the place? Second, what's the main thing you'll be doing? Is it intense gaming or just writing emails? Third, think about your budget long-term, not just the upfront price. And finally, space. How much room do you actually have for this thing? Be honest with yourself, and your answers are going to point you right to your perfect machine. When you get right down to it, this is what it's all about. This decision isn't about finding the best computer. It's about deciding which trade-off you're willing to make. Do you value stationary power more, or do you value mobile freedom more? So I'll leave you with this one last question to think about. What are you really trying to build here? Are you building a permanent creative studio, rooted in one spot with every possible advantage? Or are you building a mobile command center, one that can pack up and go with you on any adventure? The answer to that is your answer.